Update. I am your host, Bill Noble. Or should I say, I'm your host, Bill Noble. Thank God we're not looking at any more red ink, at least for today. I mean, how low can altcoins go before somebody goes, after the Bitcoin halving, don't alts usually do well? Hey, look, you're selling that stuff. It's down 60%. Really? Yeah, really. All right, so we are going to check out who's here. We're going to give you the opportunities, right? We're going to give you the macro. We're going to give you the altcoins. And I got something special for you in the Patreon store. So as a reminder, this show, this free content is brought to you by my Patreon group. Patreon.com/unhinged crypto. The link is in the description down below. And we have a store with a new report called Fast Altcoins. Mid caps for what's next. $27. You cannot take your significant other to Taco Bell for $27. You can't. But for $27, you can get altcoins for the next cycle, the next leg, and this subtle QR code will get you to a $15 a month membership where I have big cap altcoins for what's next. Mid caps in the store, big caps in the membership area. Come check us out for the price of lunch. Okay, let's check out who is here. Who doesn't want to be bearish anymore? Mike, welcome. Mike Rocks, first on the stream. Ultima, Traveler 88, Ben B from Tampa. Just huddle. Right on. Lotmo Crypto, Philip, Donato, welcome. Pancakes and peanut butter. Get the motor running. Aiken with the Notorious love. Tex Media, what's up? Patriot Caveman. Chi-Chi, a new name, welcome. Wiley coming in from Twitter. Willimeter giving me some love. The market update on crypto. The market update on this channel. GN, Notorious Bill keeping me sane. Yes, as a part of the Patreon group, just as a reminder, we have something called 6th Street Crypto, a 10 to 20 minute podcast every night. It's coaching, sanity, strategy, quick, clean, crisp, and to the point. More to the point than you can be on larger platforms. Super sticker from Willimeter. Appreciate that. Rick, thank you. Jorge is here. Let's go for 100K. Somebody here from Azerbaijan. Welcome. From overseas. Welcome. DC Precise. Willimeter's loving the Patreon. Yas. From Brussels. Bitcoin halving is here. Okay. Let's rock this. Forget about it. Crypto Tilly coming in from Twitter. Welcome. All right. I'm going to news. Routine Cheese asking about the stock market bubble. We might talk a little bit about that. Tybor is here. Welcome. Okay. This is the YouTube channel you're already on. Don't forget to come on over and subscribe. By the way, if you're watching the short videos, which are on full tilt, going crazy, make sure you comment down below in the stream so we can welcome you to the live show. Obviously, don't forget to hit the like button. I don't do enough of that. I'm always talking Patreon. The like button helps you, me, and it helps make the content better. Now, let's begin with your friendly neighborhood market update person in the news. So, Forbes calls me up. Really like this guy. Calls me. Charles Boviad. Writes this article. What's next for Bitcoin prices? So I actually try not to read what everyone else is saying. But I'm sure there were a lot of analysts in the community, a lot of guys who said, hey, I think this can go a lot lower. This could go to 57. It could go to 54. I gave him a chart point below. But here's what I gave him, and I'm going to read to you what I said. This is a square trading range. I know everyone's kind of drawing it as a triangle, and it really feels kind of square to me. And it felt square back in February. Now, when you get this type of formation in crypto, when it's a square, okay, you can get some really big moves off that. You can get some big moves off that, right? That's what I call it, the Pepe formation, right? Just square. Now, what did Bitcoin do yesterday? Well, Bitcoin went through 60K and kind of sat there all day while alts, spent the afternoon in the bathroom. Terrible, right? I mean, it was almost like I came home and I was like, man, there has to be a reason for this. There has to be. Well, actually, there doesn't have to be. It could be just be everybody liquidated. We'll talk about macro in a minute, but here's what I said, right? Bitcoin broke out from a square range in February, and it could well break out from this one, right? The reason for the potential breakout is simple. Bitcoin has just been pressured or liquidated all buyers since February 24th. Do you realize that if you go all the way back to February, they have washed out 2 months of buying pressure in Bitcoin? That's just Bitcoin. Never mind alts. Alts is full out wrecked. 62% retracements across the board. By the way, did I mention there is a new report called Fast Alts that include the charts and show the 62% retracements? You want speed? You want beta? Check the Patreon store. Leveraged players and late retail buyers have been forced out. Once people realize that the bearish catalysts, remember all this? Oh my God, inflation, $20 for 2 tacos in downtown Austin. Where's that going? Is it going to $30? What can they charge you for tacos before demand destruction occurs? Is anyone talking about that? No. Once people realize that the bearish catalysts are nothing more than temporary distraction, Bitcoin and crypto can move higher in dramatic fashion. Anybody remember global conflagration over the weekend? Anybody remember that? Poof, gone. Gone. Okay, the countdown to the Bitcoin halving. Who do you want to be? Do you want to be the person that tells your children that you puked out your crypto the day before the halving, the day before Bitcoin took its place? As what Ray Dalio calls, and we will get to this, email just came out today. It's called, do you have non-debt money? I was like, Ray, do you have Bitcoin? Oh, I bet you do. Bitcoin halving countdown, 1 day. 1 day. Okay, here's what I like. Here he is. Here he is, our spokesperson for, I don't know, what should we call it? Let's call it the Empire. Let's call it the Empire. Just in, the Empire CEO Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is no good. It's specifically a fraud and a Ponzi scheme. Yet Jamie has no problem taking money from BlackRock to help process the Bitcoin ETF. And you might be wondering what is up with this. I'd be happy to tell you, as always. Can the powers that be in the public sector really credibly get on the tape and say, we don't like Bitcoin? Like maybe a certain regulator can, because that's what they do all the time. So who's the spokesperson for the Empire? Who's the spokesperson going, that crypto, we can't have you little people out there being free. No. We need you to listen to me and my $1,500 sport jacket tell you what to do with your money. Actually, Jamie, no, we don't. No, we don't. Now, here's another little fun statistic. Okay. When will millennials ever get married? What went wrong with people born in the 1990s? So people born in all these other years, like the 60s and the 70s and the 80s, I don't know, they got married. And millennials probably watched all these people get divorced and go through, I don't know, economic crises and things like that. And, they didn't have as much opportunity. And everyone gives these people a hard time. And Gen Z actually takes it. They take a bigger beating. I got an idea. What makes you want to go out and find a significant other and get a car, a house, and the American dream? Hope and opportunity. Most importantly, opportunity. Now, what is it you think is going to happen when all these people down here who want to stay home and play video games because things are not going right for them? What do you think is going to happen when these people turn around and discover the green button as the way to hope and opportunity? What do you think? And how many of them are there? You're always hearing me on the show. Oh my God, there's all these people who need hope. They're going to press the green button. And they're right here. They're right here, people. Right here. Everyone born in the 90s. Everybody born in the aughts. What are they going to do when you wake up one day and go, you know what? I think in order to maintain the credibility of content, we may need to have AI generated stuff or content on a blockchain so we can know who owns it. Huh? And is there a phone on a crypto operating system? Oh, Solana, I've heard of that. Uh-huh. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Huh. So small business optimism is at an 11-year low. You know, everybody's trying to tell me, here it is. The great rate cut bet is off. Thank goodness we have the media to manage our bond market interest rate speculation book. The great rate cut bet is off. There is absolutely no reason why the Fed would cut rates. Yeah, exactly. That's why Ray Dalio is sending out an email saying, do you have enough non-debt money? Because everything is fine. Do you realize I saw something from my buddy AMK before this show that the United States is the only country that has inflation coming in above expectations? So we know inflation's hot. I get it. But inflation is falling everywhere else in the world. Now, that may mean there's something wrong with our policies, or it could mean everyone's hysterical about old news because it's falling everywhere else. And me and Ray are going to give you a reason why the Fed may have to cut rates like that. And here it is, right? US and countries in Asia don't want the green fiat to rise and, you know, the, I don't know, let's call it the sushi fiat to fall any further. It could create a problem to the point where the Fed may have to cut rates to stop the green fiat from going up. Don't go anywhere. Those charts are coming. Kraken releases its own crypto wallet. I wonder why they're doing that. Oh, could it be because inside of a Coinbase wallet, you connect a Coinbase wallet to your Coinbase account, you have a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp onto a DEX where you can get coins like that I own, like Degen, which could be the future of social media or at least a shot at it, right? You could have Virtual, which wants to put AI gaming assets on chain, and a whole host of other things, like where you can trade for $2 instead of a $72 ETH Metamask Uniswap gas fee. So other exchanges are like, well, we better make our own wallet too. We better hurry up. You got any idea what's going to happen in this market when Bitcoin makes a new high? Like maybe that's not today. Maybe it's not tomorrow. Maybe it's the beginning of May. I saw a tweet that says there's $7 billion worth of shorts waiting to get liquidated on a new high. What do you think the normie world is going to do if those stops get triggered and everyone's like, oh, wow, crypto's back? Yeah, they're going to be piling in Coinbase, Kraken, Base, Phantom, Solana, like in mass. Large investment bank cautions against extrapolating previous Bitcoin halving cycles for price predictions. Okay, well, this is a brief reminder that the four most dangerous words in humanity are "this time is different." Okay, now The world is different because the Bitcoin ETF has changed certain things. Namely, the corrective activity prior to the halving wasn't so much in Bitcoin like it usually is. It was really more in altcoins. And it's funny, my understanding is post-halving, altcoins usually do pretty good. Which brings me to this tweet from a guy, Satoshi Flipper, and I'm actually going to read it. Alts dumping 50% in a few weeks is absolutely unprecedented. If you think this is a normal correction, think again. God, I wish I had said that. Calls for deeper corrections make little sense to me, reminding everyone that the most loathed creature in crypto is the late stage bear. Don't do it. The point of this correction was to make you feel like the bull market is over and we went deep. The market's mission was accomplished. The weak hands are cleared out, in my opinion. All of this is super bullish, back up very soon, and that's the market update. No, not quite. Okay, so let's talk about what has happened. Everybody who bought the market with borrowed money or leverage or margin, if you're from the stock world, they were liquidated several days ago. Then people who got in late and are not used to the kind of volatility you have in crypto, they freaked out, saw the losses, and sold. They may or may not come back. Then they proceeded after that to put pressure on everybody who wanted to hodl for 3 days, right? With fears of the stock market, fears about conflict, fears about, green fiat, legacy, inflation, the whole wall of worry. So at the top, there were no problems. Everything was fine. It was a new paradigm. At the bottom, it was total despair. Before I went to bed last night, I go, I may have to figure out why this thing is so weak. I just can't believe it. There has to be a reason. Well, there doesn't. There might be if you look at green fiat, but what this guy is saying, let me just sum it all up. A month ago, everyone was like, the guys in crypto were like, yeah, you know what? You're not really early. Welcome to crypto, but you're not really early. The money's been made. Sorry. Maybe there'll be a next time for you. Everyone's like, oh my God, I'm not early. Oh my God, I have to FOMO in. I heard all this. Oh my God, I'm late. You're not late for anything. You're early for the mega move that's coming. Don't believe me? I got a screenshot from Ray Dalio's email. It's all I need to say. You're not late for anything. This is it. This is in first inning of the next round. In other words, when a market goes up, right, sparing you the whole Elliott wave lecture. Okay, there's that first leg up. Very exciting. But then that second wave, that second correction, man, that's deep and that flushes you out. The one you want to get is the one that goes, okay, well, we're going up. Oh, it's going to go back down. No, look, it's going up. The market climbs the wall of worry slowly at first, like today, April 18th. It goes, it's methodical. It's not up only. Just a little dip, scare you. Fine. But then once everyone realizes that everything that there was to worry about is not the thing to be focused on, and you maybe get a surprise, everyone's like, oh, it's the black swan. Yeah, I'll give you the black swan. That triggers a Fed rate cut faster than you can say, oh no, it's a Fed rate cut. Matter of fact, I would go as far as to say, when you see this chart, if you understand it, even half of what I'm saying, let me give you a piece of advice. Don't take it for granted that you can buy Bitcoin if you wanted to. In other words, the green button works today. And sometimes these exchanges go down on very busy days, and we know that. But what would happen if it got so busy you couldn't get involved for like days? I mean, it's happened in the stock market. It's happened in commodities markets where, you have limit moves. You don't have limit moves in crypto. The limit is the technology. What could happen in the world that could make Bitcoin go up $30,000 and you not be able to buy because all the exchange mechanisms are overwhelmed? Has anyone thought about that? No, they haven't. which is why I always ask, who are you listening to? Thankfully, you're listening to me, and I appreciate that sincerely. So do the members of my Patreon. Come on in, because everything I'm telling you, they got 2 days ago. Patreon, Satoshi Flipper. You want to dump alts? Most the big alts, like the medium-sized alts, like the ones in my report, they're down 50%. Meme coins, some of this stuff's down 90%. It was like a virtual bear market in a month. In a month. I mean, what's left to destroy if you look at this? Here, I like this. Financial Times, dated 7:24 a.m., April 18th today. VIX, fear gauge in equities. So equities, they have this number that reflects fear. Fear gauge goes up on whatever. Fear, fear, fear. You want something to be afraid of? I'll give you something to be afraid of. I already told you half of it. It's about not being able to hit the green button. Again, here's the media. Bitcoin price tumbles below 60K. They were letting you sell. They were giving you Ethereum. Ethereum, the core of the new base network, with a fiat on-ramp and off-ramp for trading altcoins and projects, some of which I'm just going to show the charts of just to show you what is on base. And yesterday, they had it below 3K all day. You could have said, oh, look, ETH is below 3K, gone out, picked up your dry cleaning, got a ham on rye, ate it in the kitchen counter, and come back 4 hours later and you go, oh, look, it's still below 3K. Wow, this must be an all-day sale. I just looked at this and I'm like, you know, large Bitcoin investors haven't started buying the dip, right? Okay, analysts, you know, worried it's going to go lower. Okay, here it is. Suggesting the correction may continue. Yeah, of course no one's buying the dip. No one buys the dip at the low. There is no buyer at the low. That's why it's the low. The high is a euphoric party where there's no seller. You're like, oh my God, I can't get a seat. It's musical chairs. Oh my God, I don't have a seat at the bullish party. There's no seller. At the bottom, there's no buyer. It's horrible. You're depressed. You can't get out of bed. Trust me, I know. Okay, now let's talk about base. Just look at some coins. Okay, so this is virtual. I own it. Virtual in-game assets on chain. This is a 4-hour chart. In-game assets on chain. In-game assets made by AI on chain. They just destroyed it. $48 million market cap. Okay, at the high, it was, I don't know, 50% more than that. It's a 50% markdown. Arrow, 4-hour chart, the DEX powering base, hits the 38% retracement at $1.48. You know, it can chop around down here, but they kind of washed everyone out a little bit. It went to 240 and then it went to 140. That doesn't sound like a lot numerically, but in a percentage terms, that's a lot. That's a lot. Now, yes, this thing did go from 0 to 240. I get it. But they washed people out hard on this. Like, people parked money in this thinking that they were safe, and they took it from $2 to $1.50. That's harsh, particularly when you think you're safe. Now, this is something called Truflation. It's new. I'm still researching it. Right? It's basically they want to do a decentralized economic data system. So we're not relying on any central point or people or whatever to get economic data, like they're focusing on inflation. Very interesting square pattern, very high valuation. One thing that's going to be interesting about the base network, not investment advice, not even implying anything about this, but obviously anything that's trading on base could theoretically have a quick path to getting listed on Coinbase before it becomes absurdly overvalued, right? A lot of times altcoins get to Coinbase way late. Everybody who makes the money on the DEX and then liquidates on Coinbase. This could be different. Like they could try it on base, and then if it works on base, it then goes to Coinbase. By the way, in Patreon, there is a tutorial in one of the posts about my process of using the base layer 2 inside the Coinbase wallet. I may never shut up about it. Because when normies figure this out, that the Coinbase wallet connects to their Coinbase account, and then they're off to the races, I mean, I get it. Phantom is awesome. I understand that. But when normies figure this out, and they won't figure it out tomorrow, but all it takes is one big meme coin or one big project like Degen or Virtual. Let's giddy up. Let's go. Okay, let's see who else is here. Okay, Digital Bobby is here. Israel, welcome. Big Rich, Lou, Noah, welcome to the show. Traveler 88, Bull Runner is here. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, Boris is out of buy the dip money. So let's talk about that. You're out of money. You're forced to sit there and look at it. Here's what I will tell you. I had to do it. I left altcoins, some altcoins, and moved money into Bitcoin. Now I'm inclined to go in the opposite direction. But what I tell people is you do what you have to do to manage risk so that you can keep a percentage of your money in the market. If you have to go to Bitcoin, if you have to go to stables, if you have to do whatever you have to do to stay in the game. Now, obviously, there are a limit to what losses people can take. But from great pain comes great opportunity. And Ray Dalio is about to make you feel better, I think. Okay, Sauron is asking me, what do I think of runes on BTC? I retweeted a video. Let me go to this while someone's asking me. So on my Twitter, okay, so there's this big influencer, Ansem, who, believe it or not, follows me. Actually, that makes me feel kind of cool. He says that this video done by this individual with pink hair, right, is the first crypto video I watched all the way to the end, and it's about runes. Micah. Okay, so what do I think about runes? I think about runes and ordinals. I had to be honest, as a boomer, I had enough difficulties trying to figure out what the contract address for the Bitcoin pups meme coin was on Solana. Whatever they're going to do on Bitcoin, it smells just like Bored Ape and just like whatever happened on ETH. Stuff came out for 3 ETH and it went to 60 ETH because no one understood it, no one liked it, and no one knew how to buy it. So once everyone figured that out, and once Tom Brady and Madonna got done paying $600,000, you got paid to get in early. My understanding on early on Bored Ape was like $250K per Bored Ape, right? Whatever they're doing on Bitcoin with NFTs, like the maxis are going to hate it. The ETH people aren't going to understand it because when I went to a DEX, I mean, it looked weird to me. I was like, wow, what is this? I had a wallet. I thought I was going to go to a DEX and it was going to look like Uniswap, and it didn't. So whatever it is, and this is the same thing with runes, figure it out. I'm working on it. You work on it. We'll all work on it. Okay, PowerPoint. Let's go. Okay, April 18th. This is not investment advice. This is a chart of the dollar versus the yen. The dollar versus the yen, like the 30-year bond in the United States, is one of the biggest economic drivers in legacy. Now, when the dollar goes up, fiat foreign exchange is like a teeter-totter, right? If the yen goes down, the green fiat goes up and vice versa. Now, they're having a little bit of difficulty with the yen. It continues to fall. That's not good. It's not. All right. Now, we won't go into all that, but the dollar is close to breaking out. It's close to breaking out. This is a quarterly chart above a level from 1990. This could be considered the bigger the base, the higher in the space. And on this quarterly chart from the 80s, this is an air pocket on the way down from something called the Plaza Accord, where governments just came out and said, the dollar is too strong. The foreign exchange market is free to just sell it. That's just kind of how it worked back then. They just said, you know what? All they had to do was come out and say the dollar's too strong, and that was it. Down only for some time. Now, naturally, high school physics, speed, magnitude, and direction, what goes down a certain way can go back up the same way. So this was a fall in the dollar and a rise in the yen, and this is theoretically, it could be a rise in the dollar and a fall in the yen. And guess what? Let me keep it very simple. That cannot happen. That absolutely cannot happen. You cannot have people questioning the integrity of the fourth biggest economy in the world and having everyone flocking into the dollar panicking, right? Obviously, dollar up, Bitcoin down. Like, dollar up is generally not good for crypto. Now, very simple, and I have Ray Dalio backing me up in a second. So even if you're only marginally following what I'm getting here, what happens if currency A goes up, that's the green fiat, and the yen goes down? How do you fix that? Well, yen interest rates have to go up and dollar interest rates have to go down, right? I mean, if you have a fiat paper money problem, the Fed may have to go, well, you know, we can't let this turn into a crisis. We can't. In an election year, really? We're going to have a fiat currency crisis in an election year? Really? You think so? And even if the Fed doesn't cut rates, this turns into a problem. The Fed is going to hit the button and high-powered money is going to flood into the system so fast that you won't be able to hit the green button. It'll be like it was back in October, where you just wake up one day and it's off to the races. Meanwhile, everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, no rate cuts, no liquidity. You know, my $20 tacos are going to $40. Oh, my God. Wrong. Okay. In case you didn't follow that, let's try this. The Fed can cut rates. The Fed needs to cut rates. And Ray Dalio, who hasn't been wrong about anything ever, says, do you have enough non-debt money? The most globally recognized and accepted monies are the dollar, to a lesser extent euro, and to a lesser extent the yen. And they're all debt-backed money. Currency equals debt. Meanwhile, over here, Germany's largest bank offering Bitcoin customer to fulfill increasing corporate demand. Guess we're not the only people reading Ray Dalio, huh? Looky, looky. Do you have enough non-debt money? Hey, Ray, are you picking up some Bitcoin there without telling everybody? Going to do a little announcy on the tape maybe? Like, oh, yeah, we picked up some Bitcoin on the dip. Got any idea what happens if these guys are announced? All these big hedge funds, like, you know, name the big players with Bitcoin. Michael Saylor, right? Larry from BlackRock, maybe Cathie Wood. Who else? Okay, Mike Novogratz, Galaxy Digital, not a household name. What happens if these guys get involved? And what happens if there's a macro reason for them to get involved? Little quick bit, these emails from Ray Dalio, yeah, they have a really funny way of coming out like 2 or 3 days before some like event comes down. In other words, his big fund, Bridgewater, spends like, it can spend months getting set up. Months, potentially. Huge positions, huge market directional bets. When this thing hit my email this morning, I called my producer, I called Eagle King, the true king of YouTube, and said, we are going live. Bitcoin on a 4-hour chart. Let's talk tactics. So there's been a lot of new lows in price as they did the, you know, the half off sale yesterday or whatever they were doing while I was out picking up my dry cleaning. There has not been a new low in momentum indicators. So If Bitcoin could take out 63K, that would be good. And if not, well, we're just doing more stop fishing. Because Ray Dalio is asking everybody who's selling over here, do you have enough non-debt money? Who's hitting the 60K bid yesterday? I don't know. I hope they got enough non-debt money, though. Look at this. The ham on rye story in Ethereum. Wow. What do we do? These are 90-minute candlesticks. I'm not even going to count how many 90-minute candlesticks there are below 3,000. Are these guys having fun here? Do you realize that rate cuts, rising precious metals, and if the dollar ever actually did go down? Solana, tactical support at 131 on a 90-minute chart. On a daily chart, the 62% retracement of the last run up is at 129. And they've been banging on this level for 6 days. So you know what, guys? Bang on it for 6 more. Bang on it for 16 more. Have fun. Have a great time. What are normies going to do when they figure out that there's a Solana phone? Everyone's like, yeah, the Bitcoin ETF, yeah, that doesn't really matter. Let's sell the fact. Next thing you know, BlackRock's buying $1 billion a day. $1 billion a day. What happens if you have a problem with paper money? You go to an ATM, if you happen to walk by an ATM machine or drive by an ATM machine, just take a look at it. Go like, wonder what would happen if this wasn't available for a week. Think it can't happen? What's this about? Now, this guy did me a favor today. He did me a favor. Degen. Okay, I own this social media play. Okay, Warpcast. Can't wait to get on it. So they're facing competition from a theoretical or potential friend tech token launch. I like this idea of a $250 million market cap for a potential social media play outside the realm on a blockchain, right? On a blockchain. Okay, and that is the market update. Okay. Now, let's see who else is here. David, you are not too late. You are right on time. Okay. Cryptic Martian likes the page. Thank you. Lou, yes, I am Generation X, born 1969, the year of the moon landing and the miracle Mets. Aiken is asking, can geopolitical event be priced into the market like that this past weekend? Yes, geopolitical events normally show up in things like oil. They show up in oil. Okay. And last I looked, I'm not sure oil is rallying. Okay. Text Media liking Patreon. We appreciate that. The link is in the description down below. Please come join us. Please get the new report. Please get the new report. And Crypto Crazy reminds us that it's fears about fears. So true. Okay. Here's a fun one. How about Zcash? Popular former intelligence official named Edward on the tape talking a lot lately. He signed the Zcash white paper. Do you realize that Zcash, just as a point of information, is now back to where it was in January at the start of the year? Right there. Like, it is at the absolute low. Like, there's no need for this, apparently. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Okay, XRP. Just throwing it out there. XRP traveling in a giant box, and no one wants it at the bottom end of the range. No one wants fast money. What happens if Ripple has a stable coin that they use to pump up XRP? Litecoin. Okay. I mean, we could do this all day. 62% retracement of the whole run up was $79. Currently, it's trading at 80. So it's not like it's running away from you. And no one's asking me, but this looks like a Jesse Livermore accumulation cone where you move back and forth in this expanding cone with lots of volatility right before you go parabolic. Why would Litecoin go parabolic? Ask Ray Dalio. Ask Ray Dalio. He just told you. Bitcoin Cash. Look at this bad boy. Let's see what we got here. Here's a daily chart of Bitcoin Cash. Here is, we're going all the way back to 2021. Let me see if we can do this. No, let's do it this way. So in 2021, this was the Armageddon point in Bitcoin Cash, somewhere around let's just call it 460. Okay. Somewhere around 460 is right here where Bitcoin Cash went straight down and stayed down. This is December 2021. And basically what the market is trying to tell me is you have this just gigantic base. They do this rather impressive breakout. You might think it's too late, except it comes back to this prior support area, right? And if you look at the history of Bitcoin Cash, the high is 1,600. This is a 5x from where this market is right now. You don't think that alternative forms of Bitcoin, particularly since I understand this has better speed and layer one functionality to it, you don't think that normies can come in and say, well, I can't get a whole coin for 70, but I can get one for, I don't know, 500. Litecoin, hey, you can get 2 Litecoins for 175. This can't happen. Ray Dalio just told you it could. He just told you, right? Ondo. Okay, not up today, but real world assets. Oh my God, where is my, I forgot about this. Little digression from Ondo back to this. Very important. Blackstone, which is like real estate, venture capital, that kind of stuff. Huge company. Warns that private equity cannot just return capital overnight. So you're like, well, what does that mean? Does that mean if I invested in something or if Blackstone invested my money in something that they can't get me my money back because they can't sell? Really? Yeah, really. That's why Larry from BlackRock wants to put everything on the blockchain because there's no liquidity in legacy. Yeah, there's liquidity in S&P, but there may not be liquidity in treasuries. The treasury has to borrow more money than they need in order to cushion the bond market when they're selling. There's no liquidity, right? They need to expand their liquidity mechanisms. They need to get on chain now, yesterday. Okay? Ondo, right? Ondo. 38% retracement at 65 cents. That was a couple days ago. This is a 4-hour chart. Mantra DAO, just as a point of information. Mantra has already got, let me see if I can pull that up. Mantra has already got people on chain, I wonder who, borrowing, tokenizing treasuries, and borrowing stablecoins against it. Gee, what do you think they're doing with the stablecoins? Buying more tokenized treasuries? I don't think so. I don't. Look at this. Oh my God. The whole market looks like this. This is a real world asset play. This is happening. I was on the Twitter space with this guy talking about him, talking to this, talking to the entire all of Wall Street and people on his chain with tokenized treasuries, borrowing stables. And they just, please take my crypto. I don't want it at the 38% retracement of the whole move up. You missed it. The bus left without you. Hardly. Hardly. It's not even up today. They're selling Bitcoin today. You may get a couple days, which is why that report hit Patreon today. Why the report hit the Patreon store. So if you're a commitment phobe, you can shop at the store. Here's a hint. There's also a real world asset report in the Patreon store. Ohm is in that report, not surprisingly. That one's free. There are mid cap and small cap plays. What, you think it's going to take one coin to get all of Wall Street on chain? Oh my God. Oh my God. Right? In other words, Teapot wants to know, is Rose dead? Okay, well, no layer one is dead. No layer one is dead. Now, did layer ones, did something get hammered? Like I thought this was going to hold. It didn't. But let's look at it. Okay. Now, it's natural after that kind of a washout to go, man, is my coin dead? My answer is no. You just were subjected to an absolutely brutal washout. Okay. 0.094. Now, let's talk about washouts. Let's just put this in perspective because I can draw on charts all day long. But, this is what the Schiller guy on Twitter was talking about. Okay, so this is support. And here's what Mr. Market decided to do. It decided to take this thing down below support 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, and it's still doing it today. Oh, you like the market? It's green? Yeah, but it's not above your support point. I'm sorry. Your coin's dead. No, it's not. Now it's sitting below support. Can any cryptocurrency go down? Yes. Can the dollar go up? Can there be a problem? Sure. But what happens if you look back at this chart, and this is nothing more than a spectacular, dramatic version, wait for it, of this, where the market just bored you from April until October, right? This is shake you out. Okay. This is shake you out. The market has two ways of doing it. They can just make you think it's dead and it's never coming back, because when it was down there over the summer, like, I didn't even know, like, I was like, will there ever be another altcoin rally in my life? And here, they're just doing it, they're just doing it, kind of nasty, right? So first it was like, now it's just like, oh my God. Same thing. I mean, you know how they always say, well, it pays to hodl, like all those guys down there, they were early. No, most likely they bought it a long time ago and they just waited. Like everyone thinks that the whole world, everyone except them got long, levered 50x long right here. That's probably not true. Okay. So what should you have done here? And what should you do here? The question is, the answer is manage risk, manage your sanity, and listen to Ray Dalio. Okay. Listen to Ray Dalio. Okay. Okay. Right. T-Bone can't wait for ASI. I believe he's talking about the super token. Okay. All right, folks, now listen to me. Do you have enough non-debt money? Don't take my word for it, and don't fade Ray Dalio. Do you have enough non-debt money? Are you outside the system, technology, finance, content? Are you outside the system, real world assets? You want fast moving altcoins? They're in the Patreon store. The link is in the chat. The link is in the description down below. The link will be in the comments. Please come visit us. Join the Spartans. We'll see you next time.